It was once a sacred place, a holy place. Endless lush green fields through which creatures of all sorts roamed. The wolves and the coyote intermingled with the bison, and the land had much to give, although in those times there weren't that many humans there to take from it. Yet those that were there communed regularly with the gods. This was all made possible due to a network of underground caves and temples that kept holy water flowing through the underbelly of Mahavri. It rejuvenated the land and refreshed people's souls. This sacred place remained so, as people believed. One day the water just stopped. This rich underworld of holy water just dried up. The people were shocked. Had they not showed the gods, the land, and each other, enough love and respect? The gods stopped talking, and those who searched for answers on their own never came back. The once lush fields of Mahavri dried up swiftly, becoming the barren desert you see today. People lost all communication with the gods, save for one, a strange androgynous figure who said it was a coyote spirit. Its name was Ma'i, the traditional Navajo word for coyote, and it did not bring good news. Ma'i said that this was going to be the new normal, that the holy water was not coming back. The fact that this is not the fault of the people was a small solace. The gods had moved on, in essence, to other lands that could be saved. Yet it was staying. It had refused to state why, and the people, in their mourning, still had more questions than answers. The things that stopped the flow of water killed the rush of life to this place, still lurked in the darkness. Ma'i was tight-lipped about what to do about the horrors, or if anything could be done. It refused to tell them why it stayed when the rest of the gods had left. Ma'i was simply the harbinger for the end times. The response to this fall from grace of this once sacred land were varied, to put it mildly. There were those who took up arms, trained each other as best they could, and fought back against the advancing darkness. They were the Red Desert Army, a small militia that kept things at the edge of the desert at bay, and tried to instill the hope that this place once had. There were those who went mad, started embracing the shambling darkness the way they once embraced the gods of this place, started worshipping it as they had once worshipped them, gave in to fear and despair. They became those on the edge of town, the eldritch cult that started worshipping Ma'i, possibly not knowing the truth of the situation, or possibly knowing too much. Still more fell to their most basal human impulses: greed, narcissism, and a desire to watch the world burn. They weren't happy with the slow rot that had taken place in Mahavri since the water dried up. They wanted an active hand in its destruction. They wanted to cause as much pain and suffering as possible. These people became the rattlers, shunned by a society they desperately wanted to be a part of, and actively tried to destroy. Eventually, try as the Red Desert Army might to save their homeland, the military had to get involved. Shotguns and Molotovs gave way to tanks and rocket launchers. Between the RDA's knowledge of the arcane and the seemingly endless amount of money the government was going to put into the operation. The darkness was finally beaten back. But the damage to this once sacred place had been done. Mahavre was dry as a bone. Traveling between different locations became difficult. Certain places just stopped existing. New ones popped up. The topography of this place was all wrong. And time started to flow differently. It was as if the very fabric of reality in this place had still open wounds that had just begun to scab over. And so we come to the stalemate we found ourselves at about 13 years ago. The RDA disbanded. Those on the edge of town worshipped at the cave where Ma'i occasionally emerged. The rattlers were shunned en masse and driven back into the filth. The military set up base at Mahavre and started broadcasting signals to help guide lost travelers. They called it Radio Free Mahavre, and it was this guiding signal, this station, guiding the Isekai truck, that eventually started, as she would put it, this whole fucking thing. Just know that the things that I've told you, Amanda, I did them with the best of intent. Blame my godhood, if you must. I was never really that personable around the people I was supposed to protect. You can believe about me whatever you want, but the truth will come out in time. Just know that you are very important to this story. Try as you might to think that you're just some secondary character to some other person's story. You're a gambler. We've established that. And you played the role of the wild card in this conflict. And I'll stay long enough to see how it shakes out. I hope you'll stay too. Happy birthday, Amanda.